Look, not every single hire in your home service business needs to be someone inside of your office, inside of your town, and has to be in the office. You can hire virtual assistants that can literally cut your cost of marketing in half by doing one really important step in the marketing process. And I'll give you two examples of what your business might look like with or without a VA. And before I start, hey, I'm Carl Stoy, the founder of Stoy Media, and long story short, we sell leads to home service businesses on a pay-per-lead, pay-as-you-go basis. And so if you're potentially interested in that, booking a call, click the link in the description. We'll talk to you soon. But let's run through this. See, there's two examples in two different companies that may be you right now. You're probably going to be company A. That's why you're watching this. But let's first give some context on what these different companies are. So company A, let's say this is a home service business that's still owner-operator. The owner is the one doing all the sales. They're going to all the appointments and they don't have a receptionist. Say they're buying leads from a lead vendor and they get 100 leads this month. And let's say both companies got 100 leads this month. So A and B. Owner is the salesman. He's running all the appointments and he's got a pretty good close rate, which is great. But because he's always out in the field, he can't call the leads within 5 seconds. Maybe he can call them within an hour, maybe, once one of his appointments clears up. He can't just get up in the middle of an appointment and call a lead. So his follow-up process is a lot longer. So his set rate might only be 10%, meaning of these 100 leads a month, he can only get 10 appointments, which, yeah, that's great, especially as one guy, but the numbers look different in the end. And let's say he's still closing at 20%, so 2 in every 10 appointments he gets, he closes. So his ideal sales every month is about 2 sales a month, which is pretty good, but it could be better since you're still paying for 100 leads. Now, on the other hand, company B. Company B has a virtual assistant who can call every single lead within 5 seconds. They will follow up with them until they either say no, block you, or get on the calendar. And let's say they got 100 leads. Them, on the other hand, has a 20% set rate, which is very realistic, especially for a company that is able to consistently follow up with people until they either say no, they block you, or they get on the calendar. So let's say they now have a 20% set rate. And when it all backs out, you'll have 20 appointments and 20% of those will close into 4 sales. So you see a stark difference here. The company here on the left, it's still owner-operated, salesman's the only one answering the phones, and they only get 2 sales a month from the exact same amount of leads. Company B has just a virtual assistant that they maybe pay $1,000 a month, and they do the process, which I'll just reiterate it. So set process. If you don't already have a good process to set appointments and book appointments, then you need to understand this or go watch that dedicated video. But calling within 5 seconds, following up ruthlessly, and that's really the two main important ones. The last one would just be make sure your phone numbers aren't getting marked as spam, but that's not a big deal. It is a huge deal, but that's not the most important thing to your setting rate. Anyways, you can see in this situation, the company on the right has someone to call them, even though it may be a VA in the Philippines. By the way, people in the Philippines, people in South America can have a perfect English accent. You wouldn't even know. It's just that you'd pay them $1,000 a month instead of $4,000 a month for a receptionist in office. So it's a stark difference in your costs, and it's a stark difference in the fact that this company can set double the appointments and close double the sales. It's just one metric. It's just the set rate. It's just the booking rate, whatever you want to call it. But company B has a virtual assistant. And so I urge you, if you right now are buying leads from a company like Stoy Media or buying leads from another company and you're like, none of these leads are turning into appointments. But in reality, you're not calling the leads within 5 seconds. You're not following up ruthlessly. You don't even have an SMS follow-up, or you just aren't following up enough, then there is absolutely no way that you are ever going to make company B type of money unless you hire someone to take care of that role. And you don't need all the money in the world, because the title of this video, how to leverage overseas talent in your home service business, because you just don't need to pay $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month for a receptionist to sit in the office when a virtual assistant who will work the same hours, US, the same US hours, will know enough about roofing, because they don't really, how much about roofing do you really need to know as a receptionist? And they'll sound like an American. So what else do you need? You have half the cost and you have double the appointments. So I urge you, if you have leads that aren't turning into appointments, hire a VA to call them and just ruthlessly follow up on them. And you're going to see a good lift in your set rate and ideally the amount of sales you get at the end. Because if you have double the appointments, would you double the sales too?